All right, are we all here?
We are.
Hey guys.
How's it going? So pretty cool opportunity today to talk to Seth, kind of the man behind Gateway Bronco, and also to talk about the awesome car that we've got for sale. So what can you tell me a little bit about the company and then maybe the individual car?
Yeah, so maybe I'll get started on the company arena, and you can jump in on the car bits. So the company itself is really developed around the concept of reimagining the first generation Ford Bronco. Took a cross-country trip with our oldest child, 5,000 miles in a drum brake vehicle for 5 weeks. You realize that the original Ford Bronco looks cool, but not so great to drive 5,000 miles in. You get 2 hours of fuel, you get smells, and you get not the most comfortable environment. So we came about this to attack the market, providing a refined vehicle, keeping the original character, but getting rid of all the bad behavior. And that's essentially what we have here. The vehicle that we built is listed now. That was a vehicle that I'll let Arena describe, but it was during COVID. We built it. The owner said, wow, I really shouldn't own a vehicle like this in such a bad economic climate. Can you sell it for me? And so, here we are. And we have a vehicle that the second owner took over on, said, I love the vehicle, drive it at my beach house, but I'm not visiting the beach house anymore. Can you sell it for me? So here we are. And first round went well. This round, we're ready to sell this for our client. We usually do pretty well with these vehicles. First time using your outlet, and excited to see what happens here. Did that give you enough background?
Of course, yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm curious about the car, Arena. Did the client that ordered it, did he order the Le Mans stripes? So cool.
Yes,
and unique.
So all of the cars are made to order. You can customize everything from the paint to the interior, the kind of leather, the flooring, the stripes. This is actually build number 58 for the company. So this exact car was a frame-off restoration based on the original chassis, and then everything else is brand new, fully redone. It was a build that was done in 2020, and right now it only has a little under 1,400 miles on it. So it wasn't driven very much, and it has a bunch of upgrades. It has upgraded suspension, Duff long arm kits, dual shocks, and the customer even had the frame hammer coated. So the car is going to last forever. And it has a 6-point roll cage, 6-speed automatic transmission, and then the Gen 2 Ford Coyote engine in it. So it's a lot of fun. And then it has a 3.5-inch lift on 35s. So it looks super mean and super menacing. Sits high off the ground, looks like everything you would want in a Bronco.
Can you tell us a bit more about the suspension? I imagine the ride is much smoother on these restorations than what you were talking about, Seth, the family trip in the original.
Yeah, I'll jump in on that a little bit, Jeremy. So if that's okay. We put about 4 years of development into our chassis design, because what happens is these original vehicles, they've got what's called bump steer. It seems like if you hit a pebble going down the road, the whole vehicle wants to change lanes. And we worked really hard to make massive improvements there. This truck has many of those improvements. Dual shocks, like Arena mentioned. The long arms allows you to get the right caster. So the caster is what makes these things really drive much better, as well as sway bars front and rear. These are things that are just fundamental. They have to have front and rear sway bars in order to delay or remove that yaw delay, which is the back end of the vehicle that kind of sways around like an old LTD. This has got all of that stuff eliminated. You can drive it down the highway 80 miles an hour and feel comfortable that this is something you can enjoy. The dual shocks, sway bars, our suspension alignment makes a big, big difference in how well it performs. Softer as well as straighter is what I would describe.
Very cool. I have to say I've driven a couple all original Broncos, and they aren't as good to drive as they look. They're spectacular looking vehicles.
It feels like you're sawing the wheel like this going down the road the whole time. We really work to eliminate that, right? Power steering, power brakes. the brakes are just as sensitive as a modern vehicle, 4-wheel disc all the way around, called Hydro Boost. So you basically tip in on the brake pedal, instantly you get brake pressure versus the old vintage where you're going to bear down on the brake pedal and hope, cross your fingers, that you're going to get some brake performance. That's not this way at all.
Very cool. So I'm curious. So if someone were wanting to build something like this, what's the wait? How long does that take? I know it's a bit of a process. So just curious.
Yeah, great question. So maybe Arena, do you want to go into that? I'll chip in wherever you'd like.
Yeah, absolutely. So for these builds, since they are incredibly customizable, you can change everything on it down to the color of the lettering. It takes about 12 months from start to finish. So we have a specific design process in place where you would get a welcome kit. Once you start, you would customize the paint, the interior, get a feel for the leather and all of the little details on the car. And you can even configure it online with our Bronco configurator that has all, if not most, of the features that you can get on the different editions. So you can get a really good idea of what this car is going to look like and then be along for the ride on the whole process.
Very cool.
I think to answer your question on this one, it looks like the bid on this one right now is at $229. I think to replicate this vehicle, it's probably at least $245 to $255. I don't remember exactly, Arena, but it's got to be in that $250 range minimum. The upgraded suspension, the paint work, the 6-point roll bar. Arena didn't mention it's got genuine Porsche leather. It's all perforated. So it's black leather, perforated, nice and cool. We can also put cooled seats in if somebody wants that.
Wow.
I think
that's cool.
We put heated and cooled seats in, guys. We do things that, people just don't believe are possible in a vintage Bronco. One of the things would be a full convertible top, 2 patents on it, right? You press a button and the convertible top goes down. If somebody buys this vehicle, we could add that to this vehicle.
So these are vehicles you can, in essence, drive daily. They're daily driver, amazing vehicles.
Yeah, Jeremy, absolutely. We've got product that you could absolutely drive cross country and not feel like it was, it was punitive. It really is enjoyable to drive and easy to drive. The other thing we've got is a hard top that's made of carbon fiber, so 2 people can lift the hard top off. Not only that, we've got a hard top with a freedom top. So you press a button. It's a hard top. You press a button and the entire top goes away and you're looking straight up to the sky. Those are things that just aren't available anywhere else.
So if I wanted to order one of these tomorrow, what kind of lead time would it be looking at?
Well, Arena gives a pretty conservative 12 months. If you ordered one now, we could get you one for spring. And so kind of that early Q2 time frame of next year, we're very confident delivering these things, incredibly predictable at this point. So we are longer than other people in the industry. We put a week's worth of TIG welding on the bottom side of these vehicles just to TIG weld up all the seams. People just don't do that. We TIG weld it, then we seam seal it, then we E-coat it, and then we Raptor line it. So we put in multiple layers of rust proofing, and we fully warranty these vehicles, right? So they are 100% warranted.
Very cool. How did you come up with putting the Coyote V8 in it? Obviously, it's a cool engine, but I'm just wondering, was there any specific thing that, it's reliable, it sounds cool?
All of the above. Look, Parker, this is one of the top 10 engines on the planet. It will go down in history as one of the top Ford engines ever built. Now, I am a little biased, right, Parker? So I am a Ford driver, Ford loyalist, came home from the hospital in a Ford, and I've been in one ever since. First car is a 66 Mustang. So there is a little bend that direction. But I would say that I also, I drive a Carrera S as my daily driver. I mean, the Porsche addiction is there, and this Coyote is really that good. So we went down the path to not only integrate the Coyote into the vehicle. I've got a Ford Raptor with that same 6-speed, and I said, this thing works flawless. When I say we Tanner Faust that thing, we do it all the time, every time we drive the vehicle. And so when we said, wow, let's take that 6-speed and take that exact same 6-speed and put it into the Bronco behind that Coyote, controlled it all by Ford Electronics, we're the first to do that, right? We work with the Ford engineers directly to connect that engine with the transmission. So there's no aftermarket controller. This is all Ford Electronics, Ford software.
Very cool. And so it's the first gen Raptor transmission, that 6-speed?
It is. Yeah. Yeah. The same one they put behind that 6.2. And I abuse our Ford Raptor, absolutely abuse it. And it holds up wonderfully.
Very cool. There's funny similarities, actually. My dad's first car was a 66 Mustang, and he's currently rebuilding an original Bronco right now.
Oh, that's funny. Well, you believe it or not, I actually have my first car, the 66 Mustang. I still have it. So I'm probably your dad's age, right? So I still have the 66 Mustang orange. And I have the original nitrous bottle that I traded a set of wheels for. Best trade I ever made for a nitrous kit for that same Mustang. So last year, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now, is there any official Ford licensing? Right, you guys talked to Ford for the development of the engine trans combo. Excuse me. Is there any sort of official Bronco licensing or?
Yeah, great question, Parker. So, through the story of building up the business, I fell into the first Bronco. We now own the very first Bronco. So hang with me on that story. The very first Bronco is really unique. You can see it at firstbronco.com. It was owned by Carroll Shelby for 10 years.
Wow.
And it was the very first Bronco ever built, launched at the auto show with the same guy who launched the Mustang. So you got to imagine this. The guy who launched the Mustang then came around, Donald Fry is his name, worked for Lee Iacocca. He then launched the Bronco and a few years later, and that was the vehicle. We actually own it. So since it was owned by Carroll Shelby, we then got to meet and have become friends with Aaron Shelby over time, grandson to Carroll. And so from that relationship, we met Henry Ford III. And from there, we met the licensing folks, and we were the world's first to be licensed by Ford Motor Company to manufacture the first generation Bronco. So that occurred, I think that was 2018 or 2018, I believe, and late 2018. And so the only one to ever be licensed. It is very unique situation for us to have that relationship with Ford. And then from that, we've had wonderful access to the engineers at Ford. World's first to do the 6-speed, and then world's first to do the 10-speed automatic in the Ford Raptor. In the Ford Bronco with the Gen 3 Coyote, and then world's first to do the Roush supercharger on that package. And yes, Parker, more is good, too much is just right. No one needs a supercharger in a Bronco.
What's the most powerful Bronco you guys have built?
Yeah.
Well, I think, we did one that was in the 825 range. And like I said, more is good, too much is just right. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's wild.
We built probably one out of 5 or so as a supercharged vehicle.
Wow. Even with the Coyote engine, these cars are so fast. Like I drove a couple of them when I was out there, and they're so quick. The car is relatively light and it just moves. And with the upgraded suspension, it handles phenomenal. Like I could not imagine putting that much power into a restoration Bronco as opposed to one that's built from the ground up.
What is the average weight? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Roughly. Yeah, great question. Somewhere in that low 4,000 pound range. If you get with hard top, with everything, it can be a bit more, but it's a light vehicle overall. And we do have a new product that we're going to launch, and I'll just give you the specs. In the dirt, 0 to 60, 5.1 second. On the tarmac, 0 to 60. Yeah, 0 to 60 is in the 4s, and how deep into the 4s we can go. we'll let you know in Monterey. It's yeah, we're going to be low fours in that 0 to 60 second range.
So you brought up Monterey. That's coming up. Any teasers besides that one that you could maybe drop for the community?
Well, I would say, how about all-wheel drive, anti-lock brakes, and electronic stability control?
Cool.
You guys unveiling that if it's a specific location? Because I'll be out there during Car Week.
Yeah, we'd love to see you out there, Parker. We'll be at the Motolux event. We've got a partnership with Haggerty, and we'll be Wednesday night at the Motolux event. Come see us at the Quail if you'll be there. That'll be a great event. And you can take test drives of the vehicle, compare it against our current state-of-the-art product versus the new product that we're launching with all-wheel drive. You're welcome to do that, Parker, and you know, do a comparison test. Arena will be there. You guys can connect, and it'll be great fun. You can do it on Wednesday, in fact.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think I'll try to get up a little earlier. I was planning on getting there, I don't know, mid-afternoon for the Motorlux event, but if you're doing stuff on Wednesday, I'll come out early.
I think Arena will probably make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, guys, we're down to the end here. If we don't get a bid, it won't extend. If we get a bid, the sniping protection will add a couple minutes. So let's see where this ends up.
Wow, I think it's so close. What was the reserve on this? Are we right on top of the reserve?
We're close. We haven't publicly stated it. I don't know if you would like to disclose it. We can.
I thought it was just a couple $1,000s over this. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was very close. It was under $10,000 is the swing.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's right on top of being sold then. Would love to see it go. It's a great vehicle. It would be a win for Arena here, right? So this is her first avenue with your organization, first auction. We got more behind this if this goes well.
Okay.
Let's see. Did it just close?
Yeah, just closed. Let's see. We're short, guys, but that's okay. We were still very close. I feel like this was a good run.
We can also
just great run, guys.
Yeah.
Out to the guy and or girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. See if there's some
TJ.
This is an after the block, right? So Meekum has their after the auction block, and see if there's something that can't be done here. We are right on top of getting that deal done, it looks like.
Yeah, very close. But either way, we are so grateful that you guys were able to come join us and tell us all about Gateway.
Yeah, look, guys, we're thrilled that you'd have us. Appreciate Arena for making the connection here. And yeah, anytime you guys want us, we'd love to be on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Take care.
Bye.